It doesn't sound self-centered. Because
Yeah,
I think
sister-wives,
I'm truly feeling like this is going to help this person out. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Sister Wives helps everybody. More chores get done.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah. All right. So
That's because you haven't been married for any ever or for any length of time.
Hey, I got that suggestion from a married person.
Man, when you realize how ill-equipped you are to live with one woman,
yeah.
and now you're going to add double, triple that? No, dude.
It's not in your genetics. Y'all are white.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
Arab, you come
No.
built in with 4-wife maximum
Is
capacity.
that what it is?
Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Two Old Goats. Let's
All right.
get uncomfortable.
Y'all jump in, adjust your volume just right. Let's, how about this one? Let's exchange some illusion for some reality.
Starting topic?
Yeah, that's it right there. No, I don't know. No, I'm just saying that's, or from pulling back from our old podcast. I'm just trying to get my intro down, bro.
The difference between illusion and reality.
No, I wouldn't mean that as a topic. That's my new intro.
I think we should talk about what the difference between illusion and reality is.
Oh,
Hey,
there's
Tom,
a
I know you don't
difference.
get this, but Richie spent some time mind mapping, so why don't you hold your horses
Mind
No, go for it.
mapping.
and let him mind map a
See,
little bit.
you don't want to get involved in what's going on in here unless there's no other choice. But
I told
might
you,
be-
it's landmines.
there you
Yeah,
go.
it's not
Yeah.
mind mapping. It's mind masturbation.
There you go. That's good too. I like it.
Flinging everywhere. You're all
Like
done, then all of a
self-love.
sudden you're all exhausted, out of breath, and you just feel a little guilty. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Not really. It's self-love. That's the new thing, Tom. You got to catch up to the times. Self-love is the new deal.
Oh, I know how to self-love. I'm good.
I think it's one of those. I think that's the plus sign in the LGBT whatever blah 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 plus plus
Extra self-love,
Yeah.
extra self-love. Yeah.
plus squared.
Well, we do have a Two Old Goats lotion that we ought to get to rep us, right?
There is Two Old Goats lotion.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that
Heck
pops
yeah.
up when you look up Two Old Goats.
I bet you it doesn't smell very good.
Mm,
What do you think it smells like?
I don't know. I just,
Yeah, sweet as goat's milk.
Just cedar? Just straight up
musk.
mulch?
Just musk.
The musk?
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know
Well,
who
cool.
marketed that. I don't think that's a good name for a lotion.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah.
But it takes all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either we can start with something Richie has mind mapped, or we can talk about the illusion or reality, or delusion. Or we can talk about the difference between the two, because sometimes I still get...
The difference between illusion, delusion, and reality.
Definitely illusion and delusion.
Well, kind of one of the things we touched
And
on
reality.
last week that I think we could get deeper into is, I think we talked about confusing the outcome with the opportunity. I don't know. I'd like to delve into opportunity a little bit more. I think we don't. A lot of times we're just doing our own thing and not paying attention to the opportunities that are out there. So maybe that, and I don't know, man. Whatever else you think. You've been out running up the streets, West Texas out there, or actually Central Texas, and stuff happens when you party naked in Texas. So, what's been
Right.
going on out there? Yeah.
Oh, nothing really. I just feel dirty whenever I go to San Antonio.
Yeah.
Whenever I leave there, I just want to take a shower. It's just so old. You know? It's just so old. Everything's just dreary and old in San Antonio. There's no new, vibrant, except for
Got the river.
the Hispanic houses. Those are very bright colored.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they got the Riverwalk and the Alamo.
yeah, River Rock Walk smells like urine. I know it for a fact.
That probably is.
Yeah.
Have you gone to
Mostly.
explore?
Have I explored San Antonio?
Mhm.
Yeah, I did today.
Recently?
I drove all day around there. There is one cool part. There's a thing called the Mission Trail, and that's really neat.
Uh-huh.
It's a
Well, they also have the Air Force Base. And is SeaWorld still out there, or is that against the law now? Is that like animal
Shampoo?
slavery? Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I think some of them killer whales killed some people.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if it happened
It's
in
in the
this
name.
SeaWorld or another.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
They try to pretend. No, this is an orca. No, it's
Yeah.
a killer whale, dude. They kill things. In fact, they're
Yeah.
probably the greatest hunter in the ocean.
Oh, definitely. Well, they forgot the real name for the ocean is monster soup.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, because there's some monsters out there.
All right, well, let's look at that. So you want to talk about? I don't know if it's a confusion of outcomes and opportunity, because I think there's a big difference,
Yeah.
and I think anyone that says, "Well, I don't know the difference between the two," I think they're lying to themselves.
Right.
So
Well, I think that, and too, a lot with opportunity, people start thinking about what's the first question we get in the program a lot, or when people come in the rooms, is what are the chances?
right.
They go straight to, well, there's no chances of this.
Well, I had a talk with a person today about that. She thinks it's comical when I'm on the phone with somebody. Someone had called me and that we were talking about positive productivity, and we can get into that because that's all about opportunity, and we can get into that in a second. But let me finish the story first.
Sure.
At the end of the conversation, I did it twice. I did it once with this person I was speaking with the program, another time with my wife. And at the end of the conversation, I say, "Have a day," and I hang up. And she's like, "Why don't you just say have a good day or have a great day? Why don't you try to,
Right.
send positivity to them?" And I'm like, I have no idea what good is, my concept of good is probably not the best concept because I really don't know. So I think it's more appropriate to just say have one, have a day. I think that's more important because that's where it goes into the opportunity. It's the opportunity to make it a great day or a good day. That's all. That's all perception, is what is good and what is bad. Based
Yeah,
off of
ultimately-
the outcome that you think is happening.
Right. Well, and you're exactly right. That's the problem. If I'm judging good or bad, that means I'm already thinking about the outcome.
That's exactly it. But if you say have
And
a
if
day,
it's-
that's full of opportunity, man.
Yeah.
Let's
And if
have
it's
one.
the outcome I want, then I would judge that as good. But who knows if that's the one you want or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
So who knows?
And the same thing with, she had brought up some other information about, or, some situations where she feels stressed. And I had stated that, well, did you know stress is self-inflicted? The other opposite, which is, or not even opposite, the other side of that is called pressure, right? Pressure,
Yeah, I've heard you. refer
pressure is
to it as
100%
that
opportunity, And there's no sickness, there's no ailments on pressure. Pressure gets you moving. Pressure
Correct.
gets you to rise up, It gives you that opportunity to do something, Stress, that's a bullshit excuse on anxiety and, depression and all those other made up freaking words of just not doing something different. That's all that is. It's like fibromyalgia and candida. It's all made up.
Made up stuff.
It's all
I
just
can't think of what it is, but
make a word
we'll
up.
call it something fancy.
Yeah. How about
Charge
just
double.
just stand up and go do some shit?
Right. Get
You
after
know?
it.
I think that's where all the stress, and I'm recently learning that's all stress comes from thinking instead of just doing. And that's
There it
something I
is.
said in the meeting yesterday.
There it is.
Was I kept trying to talk to my higher power, being relatively new to it, and I realized at some point I'm like, stop trying to talk to it, just start doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. And before I knew it, all the stress is lifted away, all the self-inflicted bullshit's lifted away, and I feel it right there with me while I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So the action is an instant relief, an instant cure for all the stress that I was going through.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's a good description of deep down in every man, woman, and child's the basic idea of God, right? And we block it off and stuff like that. But like you said, that doing and that voice you're hearing say, shut up and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I tell all the time, I learned a long time ago, I know the right thing to do. I know when I'm screwing up. But it's, am I listening to that voice in my head, or that voice that's saying, you're screwing up, right? I think that's part of the power. That's part of the spirit that's talking to me. And now whether I heed that warning, and the other problem is when I don't, guess what? There's a couple of factors, 3 main factors. Number one, it's always going to hurt more than I think it's going to hurt. I think I can get away with this or whatever. No, dude, it always hurts like 10x more than you think it's going to hurt. The next thing is you're going to be a lot further off than you think when it's all said and done. Part of my experience with that was, earlier on, I think I had 5 or 6 years and Steve died. I cut down on my meetings quite a bit. And when I did come back and got back in the material, thank God I didn't have to drink over it, but got back in the material with a new sponsor. And we were a couple months in when it finally hit me. Jeez, I was way further out there than I thought. Not like I was about to drink or anything, but it was, at least I don't think so, but more about spiritually and how I was thinking about people and how I treated people and how I was responding to life.
Yeah, worse than drinking is not living, right? 'Cause,
Right.
that thought doesn't really cross my mind at any point. I don't know how long it would take for it to happen, but that's the real fear, is to go back to that isolation.
Right. Well, and that is a fear worthy of, in this deal, it's so hard once we are here for a while, because all you got to do is reach your hand out and 10 people will grab it.
Right.
In our deal. So that's it. It's, and then the last thing is, it's always going to cost you a lot more in terms of money too, but it's going to cost you a lot more than you think it's going to cost you. So, if you're ready for that, you can just go ahead and go against that voice in your head. But for the most part, know when you go against it, you're bringing up a bill here.
Yeah,
At least that's been my experience so far.
Yeah, that doesn't
starting
work
to
well for
realize-
me. I got too many voices.
Well,
Yes, you
that's
did.
a tough one. I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about how many voices are going on in my head that just block out the voice, right? With the capital T.
Yeah, no, I have a voice that sounds just like the voice. That's why
Oh,
I need to
shit.
call somebody and say, hey,
badass.
because, in my mind, I'm like, dude, this sounds like an amazing thing because it doesn't sound selfish. It doesn't sound self-centered. Because
Yeah,
I think
sister-wise,
I'm truly feeling like this is going to help this person out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sister Wives helps everybody. More chores get done.
Dude,
More
that's
handy J's.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Nah.
All right, so
That's because you haven't been married for any ever or for any length of time.
Hey, I got that suggestion from a married person.
Man, when you realize how ill-equipped you are to live with one woman,
yeah.
and now you're going to add double, triple that? No, dude.
It's not in your genetics. Y'all are white.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
Arab, you come
No.
built in with 4 wife maximum
Is
capacity.
that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, but see, the difference is that those Arabs, they have the system set up. You know,
The system. That's
system
correct.
is
They
set
have
up.
the system.
the you know, from the ones I know that live over there and they have, you know, up-teen wives, the wives have a purpose. They all have different purposes. They're not all the same purposes.
They know their role.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly.
But the
it.
purposes are similar.
They may be. They may be. There are some that they have purposes that, you know, you're going to be the financial accountant, or you're going to be this, and you're going to do that, or whatever, right? They all have certain purposes over there.
Agreed.
I'm lying.
So
They would
y'all
never
learn
let
something.
any woman touch the money. I'm lying.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but okay. You were there. I wasn't, so I
Something
didn't
didn't add
know.
up there.
Yeah, well, I heard the silence between you two. They're like, wait a second. That's right. I was lying.
You guys can touch the money.
That's right.
Not.
No, don't think so.
Well, let me give you a story. So a while ago, so my wife, she was sick, you know, like really bad sick for quite a while. And so, I mean, I'll be honest, we weren't able to have sex. Okay? She was sick, right? Now, in my head, I heard God. You know what you should do? You should take that burden off your wife because she's sick. Let her be.
I remember this.
You should
Vividly.
present this to your wife because it's a good idea. And so I said, yeah, what an amazing idea. Now,
Right.
I never called an outside counsel. I never called anyone up and asked, is this God or is this somebody else?
Right.
I followed through with it because, I promise you, I truly believed that this was a good idea. This was from God Himself.
Oh, we believe you. I know you.
Oh, we
truly.
believe you believe.
So,
It's like when you said, I wanted to stop drinking, I'm done. We believe you.
Yeah,
we really do.
Absolutely.
so I go up to Amy with this idea, and I go, "Hey, honey, so I know you've been under the weather and all this stuff, and I have needs, but I don't want to burden you with them. So I came. I think the higher power was speaking to me, and this is what came out. He said I should go find another woman, right? And that would be to take the sexual burden off of you. It would be on her. We wouldn't kiss because that's personal. It was
That's
purely
right.
just sex.
Straight holes.
No conversations, no snuggling, no holding hands. It's just, and I go back to the house. And the look on her face, because I had pure sincerity when I was explaining this to her, and she just stared at me and she goes, "You didn't call Richard, did you?" And I go, "What?" She's like, get out of my face. That was probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say in your entire life. And you said a lot of dumb things, Tom. And I go, okay. So I call Richard up. And I go, Richard, I had this thought. And he just busted out laughing. He laughed for like 2 minutes on the phone. So
The fact that you actually uttered that idea. Yeah, that's pretty funny, honestly.
I was really glad you didn't call because I would have said, "Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Call me back and let me know how it goes."
My sponsor said I could.
Right? Heck yeah.
yeah. No, I think
Heck
you
yeah.
responded was, you already did it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about telling my wife. You already did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So see,
What is it? Intentions?
yeah, I can't
You
listen.
gotta trust them.
That voice, it doesn't work
gotta
for
trust
me.
them.
I
You're
need
just
to.
trying to relieve her of her burden.
It was sincere. I was really just trying
Mm-hmm.
to help out. Now,
I'm trying to save the marriage.
if she came to me and she said, "Tommy, you know what? The financial burden, I don't want you to have it anymore. I'm going to find another man to pay all our bills. There's no sex, no emotions, no that. He just pays the bills." I'd say, great idea. Did that come straight from God?
Yeah. Right.
Great idea. Go do that.
Oh, shit.
God's talking to you too.
Right?
Right. He loves our
Holy
family.
shit.
Yeah,
You got the same God as me.
that's right. So,
You know what they call that?
I
That's
love it.
infallible logic. Cannot be wrong.
right. But see, I think that's the problem with that was Amy was looking at the outcome. She wasn't looking at the opportunity.
That's it. Exactly.
She's going to have a lot to learn from this podcast.
Got this figured out.
This one should go viral because it would help a lot of people.
That's
I
right.
think
I mean,
so.
You just
Stop
gotta
thinking about the outcome of getting pounded and look at the opportunity of you not having to get pounded.
Right.
Isn't that right,
It's all-
ladies?
It's all, here's the deal about opportunity too. I learned this week actually.
He
It's
talked
not
to his
always
wife, too.
no. I talked to another drunk. No, it was. It's not always obvious. Is my point. I had a guy call me from one of the real fancy rehab, the one down south down there at the Orchard.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah. So
Y'all
anyway, I
want
had
some
a
lamb
guy
chops? Let's go. Let's look at some lamb chops, guys.
lamb chops and scalloped potatoes and
Hey, man, y'all hungry? Let's
tuna
drive.
tart. Wow, man, that's the craziest rehab I ever been to.
I miss it.
But it's nice, I'll tell you that. So anyway, one of the counselors told this guy to call me, and he finally calls and all that, and I'm listening to him. I'm like excited because I like working with people. And man, fucking 15, 20 minutes later of listening to, I'm not happy. I don't like my life. There's no excitement and I blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't want to just destroy this guy real quick, but what's the opportunity here? Is there, and I started thinking that because we had been talking about it, right? And I started
Correct.
I'm thinking, show me the opportunity. I really don't see it. And I'm fixing to tell him, dude, you know my thing. There's no such thing as happy. All that stuff, right?
Right.
And then finally I get this sense of that's not the opportunity. And the opportunity finally came to me, and I said, if I finally stopped him, I said, listen, you've been talking for 20-something minutes, and you've told me you're not happy 10 or 15 different ways, in all the areas of your life, and you're not happy here, you're not happy there, blah, 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 blah. I said, you know what, I'm gonna tell you one thing, and we'll be done. And he goes, what? I mean, I thought we had a lot to do and talk about, and this is our first time. I'm like, dude, no. We don't have an hour's worth of stuff to talk about. I said, here's the deal for you. I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to hang up. I don't want to talk about it no more. And he goes, oh, okay. Really, really? And I go, yeah. And I go, you get to go to bed early. Because he called me at night. He's still over there. But I finally told him, I go, your goal in life, for your life and your goal every day, and it shouldn't be to be happy. You think you and I touched on that a little part last week, because if my goal and everything I'm working for is just to be happy, I can do a lot of wrong stuff that makes me happy. Stuff that little voice inside my head is going, yeah, this is going to hurt a lot more than you think. It's going to cost you a lot more, blah, 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 blah. But it's going to make me happy, even if it's just for a minute. And I said, so that's the problem. You got to give up on that, doing everything to be happy. I said, that shouldn't be your goal. And I said, you got to change that and you'll be all right after that. And he goes, really? You think that's it? And I go, I know that's it. He goes, well, if you're not supposed to be happy in life, what are you supposed to be? And I said, why don't you try helping somebody else out? Why don't you try being of service to somebody else? Why don't you start living a life that it's not about happy? It's, you know what? I helped the person, or I'm proud of the person I am, or I'm a good father, I'm a good husband, I'm a good whatever, instead of just, am I happy? I mean, how freaking selfish, self-centered is that? But, so we started talking after that, and he kind of started listening, and he goes, well, I guess that makes sense. I said, you're a grown ass man. We have that conversation sometimes. I said, you're a grown ass man, and you're up here worried about being happy like you're still a teenager or something. That's just crazy. So anyway, we kind of got through the whole thing, and finally, it's probably I was on the phone with him over an hour after that, but that was the opportunity. And then when I think too, when I told him, I'm just going to tell you this one thing and we're done. I think in a lot of ways, I don't know where that came from, but because I asked myself, why'd you say that? I think it gave him the sense that people are tired of listening to his bullshit. And even here at the last house on the block, we don't want to hear all that crap because it ain't doing you any good. So I don't know. I think that sometimes the opportunity is just not so obvious. We just have to hang in there and keep looking. Keep looking for it till it presents itself.
You know what chasing after that happiness reminds me of? A mental obsession. It's like whenever I fast, the whole time, I'm just thinking about the next time I can eat. Not the whole time, but at least half of the time whenever I'm not working. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking about how tasty it's going to be and how awesome it's going to be. And the second I eat some, it's not that great.
Yeah.
Even if it's like the best dish, home cooked from a restaurant, it's not that good.
It's not worth it.
Fast longer.
7 days?
It'll taste.
Even after 7 days.
It didn't taste good?
No, don't get me wrong. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Let me correct that. The taste is good, but the feeling that I get.
Are you
isn't
talking
that
about
good.
eating shit though?
No, not necessarily.
Because I'll eat plain bone broth after I fast a long fast, and that is the damn best bone broth I've ever had in my life.
That's what I'm saying. Taste. Okay, let me take it back on the taste. But it's just like the feeling that I get. Like I feel like I'm about to I would start floating or something when I start eating again. I don't know.
Oh.
I just think it's going to be the best feeling ever. Just like being happy is what I want to feel, but instead of just enjoying the process of whatever I'm doing.
Yeah, it's just a mindset. I mean, you have to realize what food truly is. It's just fuel. That's all it really is.
Yeah, tasty
energy.
We get so mixed that coincides with the whole. All I want is to be happy. All I want is good tasting food.
That's right.
It's all the illusion and the delusion.
I'm not fat. I'm big boned.
That's right.
It's the delusion.
I don't know. Like going what you're talking about, the happiness, Richard. I mean, we got to be able to come up with something else to say than just find something different.
Than being happy?
When you're talking
Well,
to that guy.
my point is the goal is not to be happy. I don't measure everything by am I happy. Mm-hmm. I measure did I perform my role or what was important at the time. Whether it was what are you, Mickey Mouse over there?
Princess Leia?
Whether it was showing up and listening, taking the trash out, I don't know, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But did I do what I was supposed to do? Instead of, I just went and did this thing for my wife, some show she wanted to go to. I really didn't want to go. I'm not happy. Mm-hmm. Well,
Where's my blowjob?
Well, again, look for the opportunity in that. What do I call that? Foreplay. So go and be happy. I mean,
yeah, but
not that you're happy, but anyway. We're getting
maybe
confused.
You don't get the blowjob right after the show. Maybe
Well, see,
later
there you
in
are.
the week.
But then you're
There
still
you are,
looking
skipping
at
to-
you're skipping to the
There you
outcomes.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say.
No. This is just, setting up proper expectations. Because even Tom said one time, you can't have zero expectations. But then again, it could have been his other higher power talking. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck's talking with him half the time.
I think it's impossible to have zero expectations.
Well, here's the deal. I'll tell you like Big George told me whenever he told me I need to get rid of my ego 100%. And I told him, you can't do that. He said, well, if you try your best to get rid of your ego 100% where there's zero ego, none, you just might get rid of enough of that ego that you get to stay sober.
So I just might get rid of enough of my expectations of life.
That you don't have
to
a
where
resentment.
I'm actually happy.
Well, with expectations, what's the outcome? Is resentments.
Every time.
Yeah, so if you get rid of those expectations enough, maybe you won't have a resentment. There you go.
Life lesson, kids.
Here's the other opportunity, because a lot of times we think, and a lot of people think about God this way, is God's punishing? Yeah, he's punishing me or what? And that's what a lot of people think whenever they start a new way of life or something. Oh, I'm being punished. I can't do my old stuff anymore or whatever.
Especially those Catholics.
Yeah, don't get me started. Those Catholics are crazy.
I'm Catholic, so I can say that.
Well, one guy in our meeting actually said he converted to Catholic or something recently. I was like, dude, I know some people who recovered from being Catholic.
Talking about the guy from yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like Judeo. He kept saying Judeo-Christian something.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy.
Right. Good for you. Good for you. So, anyway, I think a lot of times, even in the situation, I don't think it's punishment. We're missing we're not seeing it as opportunity. And what the opportunity could be is God could be saying no to this, but in doing that, he's inviting us into something else. But we don't ever get to that because we want to hold on to this crap over here that we're holding on to. Instead of seeing it and then we go, oh, God's punishing me. He's tearing this away from me or something like that. And it's really not. There's a better opportunity over here. You're going to learn more. You're going to grow more. You can help more people. And whatever it is, if I just hold on to that, oh, I'm being punished, I'm missing the opportunity.
Actually, the meditation today with Emmett Fox specifically said if you look at the word hallowed in the Our Father prayer,
Right.
it means like to heal, to be whole. So when people think about being punished, that cannot be a quality of God because God is like perfect good or something like that. That's more or less what it said. So these things about being punished don't make any sense if you actually look at the meaning of these words. So I thought that was interesting if you look at the Our Father prayer. Because recently I've been saying it and really, instead of just reciting it after the meeting, I've really been trying to think about it word by word as I say it. And like I'm talking, to the higher power. And it's been just kind of more profound every time I say it more and more. Because for the first year I was just reciting it like Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm looking at what I'm saying and actually studying like the root words and whatnot, it more and more coincides with the fact that none of this quote unquote evil, bad punishment, there's no way that can be God. That wouldn't make any sense. Granted, I'm still a newbie. You guys did the 7-year Bible study or whatever you nerded out on, but it's enough for me to know that those bad times are just an opportunity for me to get closer to God, not God trying to show me a lesson.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He can be taught.
Well, if God doesn't punish, then God doesn't award either.
There you go.
That's fair.
Can't
Well,
have one without the other.
I was talking
Right.
to somebody about that the other day too, actually.
That's what kills me when you see those hashtag I'm blessed.
Hashtag favored.
Yeah, that irritates the hell out of me.
Now, wait a minute. Y'all slow down because y'all are just jealous because y'all know God loves me the most.
Yeah, he's favored.
After John, I'm the next. I'm the next
yeah.
guy.
He's a good Christian boy.
That's it. 100%. I'm the beloved.
Mm-hmm.
He loves me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Honest.
Yeah.
But it's not so much about punishing and rewarding. The way I see it, I guess you could look at it that way. I think what happens if we keep doing stuff that we're not supposed to be doing, that's against our spirit, I think at some point our spirit goes, okay, well, this is the way it's going to be. And it's like we're surrendered or we're let go to that. He says, okay, if you want to play with that and you won't let go of it, go play with it until you're done. It's going to hurt a lot more than you think. It's going to cost a lot more than you think, blah, 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 all that stuff. So So I think that's what we perceive as punishment, but it's really not. It's just natural consequences. And I think the same thing on the reward, because, I see a lot of people that come around and they start doing the right things. They start taking direction. They're reading. They're growing. They're helping other people. And their life's great. And then some old crotchety bastard goes, "Oh, you're on a pink cloud. Just wait till it busts."
Jeez.
That's a bunch of, bullcorn right there, because you're doing a lot of stuff different. So guess what? Your life is going to be different.
Different things happen.
Yeah. And it's not God giving you anything. It's you're acting and doing different. It's about what you do.
All those things were already there.
Yeah, 100%.
You just
100%.
choose. Is that the direction you want to go? Then those are what you're going to reap. Well, they say, choose your hard. Living in poverty is hard, but living with a financial plan is hard. Which hard do you want?
Yeah.
Being fat and lazy is hard. But being healthy
It
and,
sure
and
can be.
exercising is hard. Choose your hard, dude.
Mhm.
What do you want? You get to pick. Choose.
right.
What's the opportunity you're looking for?
That's it.
Yeah, that's why the fat acceptance movement's getting wiped out by Ozempic. I'm happy to be fat. I love being fat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did you say shot to make me skinny? Being fat, I don't want to be
Yes.
fat no more.
Yeah. Give me a pill, potion, or lotion where I don't have to do anything, and I'm all for it, right?
Yeah, I've never heard a skinny person that used to be fat that lost all the weight go, "Man, you know what? I just really wish I was 200 pounds overweight. Life was so
Right.
much easier when I had diabetes, It was just, when I had heart problems, it was just so much easier to live like that. Ever.
Right.
Never have I
I used
ever
to
heard.
huff and puff like a cow sitting up from the couch. God, I miss that, dude.
Yeah. When I eliminated all my shoelaces because I can't tie my shoes anymore. I have elastic
Slip-on
shoelaces.
Straight up
Yeah.
slip-on gang over here, as I wear them currently.
Never have I ever heard a skinny person say that.
Not once.
No.
Well, dang.
What do you got, Mind Map? I want to hear something. You
Shoot,
sent
I've been
us a
talking
picture
about it.
earlier.
I know. I've been talking about it.
Well-
That was most
Well,
of what I
Let's get
mapped.
back into the definition of the opportunity, what you were talking about. What is
Go
what,
for it.
what
Yeah.
opportunities are we talking about? I know you were talking about helping others, being of service. Is that the only opportunity?
No, I think there's hundreds of opportunities if you're paying attention, you're awake, and you're, as we say, living in the here and now and not in the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the reality.
Let's talk
then,
about the opportunity to be of maximum service.
Let's
you
do
know.
it.
I know, our AA Big Book says that's our main purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service. How the hell do we take advantage of that opportunity? What's in that opportunity? How do you become, how do you fit yourself to be of maximum service?
There you go. We've been working on you
Interesting.
with that, little Chrissy.
Well, some of the ways that I've learned is looking for opportunities to help instead of waiting to be asked. Of course, basic stuff like just helping around the house.
But that's
working a little bit
being of
harder.
service. How do you fit yourself to be of maximum service? You're talking about the service part. How do
So
you
fit yourself?
You fit yourself means you prepare to be of maximum service. If you're to be of service, right, helping others,
Well,
Right.
I can't be a fat fuck. I know that.
there you go. You got the body.
So, okay. So we'll start with body.
That could be one. And there's multiple
Being
facets
mobile.
of body. It's not just the physical body. It's the camaraderie body. It's the love of your brothers and sisters body. Right?
For example, I was thinking about this the other day because you guys were referring to somebody who at some point started to feel like they had to do this program. I don't ever feel like I have to do this. At least not that I can remember in recent memory.
You did when you first got here. In fact, those were your words, Chrissy. I have to
I said
do
recent
something.
memory.
Easy.
Well, recent to you
Had to find
may
the
be
beat
different from recent to me is different. You know what the
Why
problem?
don't you suck my balls?
You know what you younger generation is? You fucked up our words by using the word minute. It's been a minute. Minute is 60 seconds, ass monkey.
Hey, man, it's been a minute, man. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys ruined the whole perception or perspective of time.
Well, you know, whenever you don't drink and do drugs, time takes forever. So it feels like a minute, okay? Like time slows down. Ah, sorry, my headphones are going crazy.
Yes, yeah.
Time slows down, and it has felt like a decade of me doing this shit. And it's been a year. So yeah, in recent memory.
Okay, recent memory. I have to do something different.
Right.
But now you
So
get
to fit
do
myself, yes, to fit myself is to take true opportunities when they are present. So, for example, if I really, and this was something that you taught me early on too, in reference to helping, others, especially with my mom, because I used to tell you about how she'd jump in and try to grab any opportunity to have me watch my little sister. And you said basically, look, if you really don't have to do, then sure, you should help, but you are not obligated to. So I kind of took that concept, and for example, yesterday, things cleared up at work, and I was going to be busy till later, but they didn't. So I ended up being free around 4, and I was like, oh man, I could go to the Texas house, yada yada, but I have to wait 2 hours, whatever. So instead of BSing, going home, doing nothing, I sat there. I studied up on negotiating to help myself at work during work hours, and then I waited to go to the Texas House meeting to be of service over there. I don't know if that's fitting myself, but I guess like that was putting myself, in the opportunity to be there. Instead of finding a way out, I found a way in.
Correct. It's all
to be there.
That's exactly it, what Richard's talking about the opportunity. At every moment, you can look around and there's an opportunity. You can be it but not do anything and sit there and twiddle your thumbs, or you can look at the opportunity to fit yourself of maximum service. Fine-tune my mind, fine-tune my body, fine-tune my spirit. Right? Those are the 3 things that fit to be of maximum service.
Right.
Right? So, I was just talking to another newcomer today about positive productivity. Early on in sobriety, that's what's taught with me. And it was solely so my brain never engaged. Richard had me reading all these different books. Other old timers had me doing all these things around the house. I had this list to do. Never was I ever allowed to sit down, because if I sat down, my brain would re-engage, and off to the races I went. I'm not supposed to be engaged. I'm, within myself. I'm not supposed to be engaged with my sick mind. I'm a very sick person. So I get re-engaged with the spirit. And that spirit just so happens to be Richard sometimes, or it happens to be Charlie, or it happens, to be a bunch of other, Rudy, They gave me a whole list of things to do around the house.
Yeah. Good
Action.
stuff.
It's all action, man. That's all it is.
Well, and like you're talking about, and Chris just described, that's an opportunity. We look at that, I have all this downtime. Here's a good question to ask yourself, because a lot of times it's not about the answers and what we know. A lot of times it's about, am I asking the right questions? And a good question is, what are you doing while you're waiting?
Yep.
While you're waiting on that newcomer, that job, that, go help your sister or whatever, you got an hour or 2. What are you doing? And I think you made some good choices there, and it helped out. But that's like Tom was point he's getting at is, how do you fit yourself for maximum service? Well, one of the things is use that opportunity of wait time.
Yeah, instead of scrolling, instead of
for sure
sharpening your mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Before you go about your day, you're supposed to have a little list. You're supposed to present that to your higher power and ask for guidance, right? And sometimes that means calling on somebody else. You know, for the longest, time early on in my sobriety, I couldn't make good decisions, no matter what. I had to ask other people, what do I need to put on my list? I don't even know what to put on my damn list.
That's fair.
They had to
I
create the
still
list for
have
me,
trouble with
man.
that.
And they did. They gave me the list, and that's what I went off of. Any point in time. And so even to this day, if ever I'm sitting there, I feel very uncomfortable. I was just telling Richard this. I feel very uncomfortable being comfortable. And that's what this program taught me. That's what the early on in sobriety taught me. You should never be sitting around, man. You are constantly supposed to be doing something, being of service. You've hurt and fucked around for so long. Just like it says in the book, no longer do I ask what this world can give to me. I'm constantly seeking what I can give of myself to this world. That's the opportunity. That's how you fit yourself to be of maximum service.
I am grateful for that feeling now. Just how wrong it feels to be sitting there when you could be doing something. It is such a eerie, just like chest crunching guilt. And I'm really happy that happens now, because I used to be damn content blowing hours watching TV, Netflix, whatever, dude. Video games for 12 hours, like, I didn't even bat an eye. That's probably why time has slowed down so damn much. Obviously, on top of being cognizant, but there's not really ever a time where I'm just zoned out, not thinking or not focusing on something for the most part, or acting and thinking, I would say.
Yeah, we need to stop thinking as much. Just have the list. Somebody create it for you if you need to. And just start doing the list.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at a while back. We talked about, I think I came up with, I need to stop listening to myself and start talking to myself.
Here's Tom. You do have to be learning new and if you're not learning new it's hard not to
what
think.
Does learning have anything to do with thinking about it?
Learning takes a lot more active thinking
Learning
than just
is
putting down a list.
Learning's the action part.
But you can sit there and be reading something and then thinking about what you just read and trying to understand it.
No, that's called comprehension.
Yeah.
I'm comprehending things. Thinking is the thing that holds you back from doing a lot of stuff.
I agree.
Yeah, but if I learn something and I comprehend something, then I'm going to go try to implement it. It's
all
not
action.
so natural.
It's all action.
You did. Well, hold the horses. You didn't learn it until you did it. You had a concept. You had an idea. You didn't learn anything until you actually did it. Now you have the experience and you know. So now you learned it.
But I had to think while doing it.
Okay. When
But that's
you
okay.
think,
That doesn't mean
you're
know it.
holding back from actually learning, because you're going to sit there and think about it for so long and philosophize about it. And that is the problem where we're worried about the outcome. That's where thinking is not acceptable.
So what point do you learn from what you did? Is that not a form of reflection and thinking? Like you kind of replay, like, okay, for example, a sale, right? What happened in the house? What did I miss? What can I do better? I mean, to my understanding, I sit there and I think about that.
Right. Well, you only find out if you learned it on your next appointment. Can you apply what you learn, what you think you learned? You got some information. Can you apply that information?
What me and Tom are talking about, though, is the concept of thinking, not necessarily if I learned it or not. He's saying that we shouldn't be thinking so much.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I'm saying that, especially when I'm learning new stuff,
You should be
it's
doing
very hard not to be thinking about the implementation and the improvement through the implementation of... Because, yeah, I get it. You don't actually ingrain it in yourself until you apply it. But I have to think about what I did differently and how I can keep implementing it more and more, especially like when you're trying to implement like a whole book into your life.
Right. So I think that's where we just need to define the word thinking. The thing that I'm thinking that you're talking
Sure.
about is called reflection. Right?
Okay.
So that's how we're looking at what my actions just did, What was the outcome? Do I need to redo that? Do I need to do it differently? Right? That's reflection.
Right.
The thinking concept that we're talking about is like I've been thinking about doing an Ironman for 5 years. I've been thinking about
Okay, I
doing
see
the
what you're saying.
Ironman up in Waco for 5 years.
Right.
Right?
I see what you're saying.
The only time when I actually was training for it was when I got a triathlete coach. Action. I didn't think about it anymore. In fact, I took the thinking out of it and I let her tell me what I need to do to train for a triathlon. I took the thinking out of it.
So is it kind of like, well, maybe this isn't all encompassing, but a lot of thinking and that comes from it is, in my experience, procrastination.
Oh, absolutely. When you hear someone, well, I was thinking about it, that means they weren't doing it. And there's a good chance that they are not going to do it. It's all excuses.
Yeah, that's honestly where a good portion of my thinking leads to just procrastination. Just
Yes. Because I hear it. I hear it. Not just from you. I hear from other people. Hey, where
Thanks, buddy.
Where are you at with this? And you're like, well, I'm still thinking about it. Oh, so you're just not going to do it. No. I'm just going to think for a couple more years on it. And, just eventually when I think it through.
till it's perfect.
Right.
Till I think it through to the end perfectly, how it's going to happen.
And that, my friend, is the difference between opportunity and outcome. Because when you're sitting there thinking, all you're thinking about is the outcome. I'm thinking about the triathlon. I'm thinking about the Ironman. What outfit I'm going to wear? What shoes am I going to wear? Am I going to get a carbon fiber bike? I don't know. Let's think about it longer, Instead of just getting on whatever bike I am and I'm going to start riding, or putting on the shoes that I have. I'm taking the opportunity. I'm going to start running. The difference between opportunity and outcome is doing
Boom.
or thinking.
Well,
Boom.
you started doing. I don't. The thinking part it's the doing part.
That's what I
Because let
just
me tell
said.
you, thinking about. Yeah, I agree. You did,
Oh,
but I
Don't
know,
ruin
at
it for
the-
him,
at the-
Richie.
No, at the end it sounded like you said the doing and the thinking are the same.
no,
They're not
completely
the same
different.
because
I
the guy
said-
that's been.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I mean, I might have heard it wrong.
I said we're talking about the difference between opportunity and outcome
Right.
is the same difference as doing and thinking.
It's the same. They're not the same.
Correct.
They're different. The same. Okay.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all keep talking like I'm having a different conversation than y'all. Am I having a stroke?
Yeah, I think your headphones are off.
It could be. I don't know. Here you
You're
go.
just using different words.
Well, you were talking about what you know a while ago. And here's the deal. Sometimes we quote unquote, what's the air quote thing, or what'd you call it the other day?
Bunny ears.
The bunny ears.
Gay.
We know too much, right? We know too much. Therefore, we stop whatever we're doing. We go, oh, I already know that. And we never discover what it really is or what there's more until you start doing it. So if you know too much, you're not discovering. You're not out there kicking the rocks over, turning out. You go, oh, I know there's sand or dirt under there. You don't know, there might be a gold doubloon. We live in,
True that.
we live in Texas on the coast, right off the Gulf of America here. There's a lot of pirate ships sunk out there.
Gulf of America.
You might kick over
yeah.
a gold doubloon, but until you do it, you don't know. You simply do not know.
Right.
So, that knowing too much, I got to get rid of that. But I wanted to read y'all this because this was, this is from Peaceful Warrior, but the difference between knowing and doing, this is the best I've ever heard it in words, even in our program. I mean, we say that a lot in our book and stuff, but this is the best description I've ever heard. And this is from Peaceful Warrior, but it says, Dan, I have places to show you and tales to tell. I have secrets to unfold, but before we begin this journey together, you must appreciate that a secret's value is not in what you know, but in what you do. Sock told an old Sock took an old dictionary from his drawer and held it in the air. Use whatever knowledge you have, but see its limitations. Knowledge alone does not suffice. Here's the part I love. It has no heart. No amount of knowledge will nourish or sustain your spirit. It can never bring you ultimate happiness or peace. Life requires more than knowledge. It requires intense feeling and constant energy. Life demands right actions if knowledge is to come alive. So that's the big difference. We don't really know anything until we do it.
Fuck, I need to read that book again. That's good.
Yeah.
God damn, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm over here like reflecting on my
Well, that's-
whole week just based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the best description I've ever heard, put into words like that. So, anyway, I really like that. And I think the term he uses in here is, he's working with Dan or whatever, and he tells him to take out the trash. Of course, he gets all offended, like, oh, I already took out the trash. He points to his head and hits him on the head and goes, no, the trash in here. The trash in that head. You got to take that trash out.
The house cleaning.
That's it. We know too much. You got to take that trash out. I tell a lot of guys when we do their fourth and fifth step, this is what we're doing. You're like that big trash can over there full of trash. There might be a treasure in there. I don't know. There might be one or two little pieces of good stuff. But for the most part, we got to empty that thing out, clean it, scrub it out, sanitize it.
Look where you are.
Yeah, and then we start putting good stuff in it. Don't put that trash back in it. So
That's why the fasting regimen lifestyle just hit me so hard. Everything I've tried, at least given a good go at, let's say 3 months in terms of food, just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, to me, it lines up spiritually. What you're saying, the fasting and all that. I just remember you were talking about how the food wasn't satisfying you or whatever. The last time I fasted and not the last time, but one of the times I came back and I ate some celery to start with, and I could not believe how salty plain celery is. But you never know that until you don't have salt or don't have, whatever for quite a while.
Cleanse the palate.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great thing about fasting, and that's fasting in all aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Porn
It's
fasting.
more than food.
You
Yeah.
never know how
more
good
than
porn is until you fast off of it. It's just
And
like
then you come back, you're like, oh my God, look at all this.
softcore is the best.
Yeah. Well, even, what are the easy marks is social media, stuff like that. All the
How
apps on your
addicting it
phone,
is.
the games. I don't know. Do people still play games or are they just scrolling social media
I mean,
now?
maybe like Candy Crush, some Angry Birds, the Wordscape where you like make words. Like you gotta it gives you like 5 letters. I see people play that quite a bit, but that's pretty much it.
I don't know.
They played that. I think they did that a couple of times on Ted Lasso. Wordle, they called it.
Yeah,
Wordle. I never did it. I did crossword puzzles back in the day with a book and pencil.
I do crossword puzzles still, digital ones.
You're a baller if you do a crossword puzzle in pen instead of pencil.
Do they even make pens anymore?
Yeah, dude,
Do
of
they?
course. I don't know about pencils, but
Does
Pen.
that pen come with a fax machine?
right.
Talking about knowing. One of the things that I learned, and it was very interesting, was the closer I get to knowing something, when I stop and realize where I'm at, the further I am away from knowing anything. And it's about, for me, I feel the more you think you know, the more you're getting cut off from the sunshine of the Spirit. You're missing out on the opportunities. You're missing out on the joy of this world the more you think you know. So I don't want to know a lot. There's certain things I need to know. Like I know I need to be fit. I need to fit myself a maximum service. I know I need to do that, right? But I keep an open mind on
Yeah.
what that fit looks like because it's going to be different every day.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
could end up across the world.
Yeah, you never know.
Helping alcoholics in Europe, you know
You
what I'm
never
saying?
know.
Or helping people over there.
So I just need to, constantly keep my eyes and ear open for the opportunities for growth, and that's it, And I think that's the joy, the biggest joy that I get about living this new way of life is, the constant seeking, and feeling there's so much more out there, man. There's so many more lifetimes I'm going to live constantly moving through this universe. It's amazing. That's why there's no fear of death in my life. I'm more excited about living than dying.
Oh yeah.
Well, it goes back to the selfishness. I think most of the fear of death, most of the time when I thought about it, I'd think about, how's everybody going to be? How's my mom going to be? How are they going to handle it? Well, it don't matter.
Yeah, see, that's all
Not-
outcome.
no- yeah, it's no longer my problem. Or if somebody in my life dies, how am I going to deal with it? What am I going to do?
Right.
All selfish. Woe is for me. How can I even be woed if I'm dead?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's all outcome thinking. That's 100% outcome thinking instead of while I'm here, what am I going to do different?
Correct. It's another distraction. Yet another
100%.
mental obsession to just distract us.
Taking you away from spending time with them because you're so scared of them never spending time with you.
Correct.
The illusions of this world. The reality is get busy, dude. That's what it is, right there.
Yeah, make an impression.
Yeah.
Help some people. Show
Crazy.
them some stuff.
Create stories. I love that. Create
Yeah.
stories, man. What are the
That's it.
stories that they're going to talk about when you're not in this realm anymore?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Dan Allender has a good book. He's a preacher. He does a lot of work. He has a good book called To Be Told, and it's about your life as a story and lining it up with the Spirit. Okay, let's tell this story now. Are you living this story? And anyway, it's a good one. I don't know if you've ever gotten into that one yet or not.
I don't think my story can be told by a Christian author.
Well, the
I
truth
think
of the
Tommy
matter
Tales
is,
should still be a thing. Just
now
saying.
wait. Okay, we're talking about opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey man,
You know?
I told Tom
Do you-
about this opportunity on our
Well-
trip to wherever. Tommy
Yeah?
Tales.
No. Here you go. Here it is.
All right, give it
You're
to me.
saying my story can't be told. So are you telling me your story is worse than Saul, who became Paul?
Yeah. Saul just
No.
Saul just killed a
You
bunch
weren't
of
out there.
people.
Yeah, he was persecuting Christians.
That's way different than the shit I was doing, man. There's nasty stuff
Yeah,
going
but
on.
it's not as.
Paul didn't do
but-
nasty things. He just killed people.
That's right.
That's the same thing.
No, there's
Yeah,
difference
that's
between
worse.
horrible and nasty.
Well, what I'm saying,
we want to hear both, Tommy.
I don't think it's a matter of which is worse. I think they're just both wrong. Wrong as all get out.
And they make great
See,
stories.
wrong is a
But I-
perception, brother. Wrong is
That's
a
right.
perception. Because
Saul
if I
going-
remember correctly, Barry, you love my stories. I don't
I
think
love
you
your
think they're
stories.
wrong.
I think they're hilarious.
No.
See, now your worry is your employer might not like your stories.
Yeah.
Here's what I love about your stories.
Boo.
First of all, that's what got you here.
Oh, absolutely.
God.
And here's the deal, and where I was going with the Saul and the Paul thing. If you want to be a person that's going to help somebody, and you have a what do they call it when you tell your story? They call it the religious term. I can't think of it. It'll come to me in a minute. But you have to have a past.
Okay.
Because if you just come in and go, oh, I've been goody two shoes all my life, and God loves me, and I've had 3 square meals, and
Yeah.
everything's been perfect. I've never worn the wrong shirt, and nobody's ever said a curse word to me. Dude, you're not going to have anything. You're not a human,
Boring.
first of all.
Yeah.
And you're not going to catch anybody to help. We're here to help people come to the Spirit, or whatever you want to call it, but that's what I call it.
Absolutely.
So
Most of
you
my
ha-
stories involve no clothes, so it works out really well for me.
Yeah, but in order for us to be that, like to be, you said earlier the question was be fit for maximum service.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? part of that was your story,
Oh, absolutely.
getting you fit, because you would have never came here if you hadn't gone through all that,
No. No.
right?
Tommy, you need to start recording your stories in a personal memoir, and then when you die, I will post all of them on YouTube and donate it to the Tuna Can Foundation.
The tuna can. You know that's funny is if any of my Air Force buddies hear that tuna can, they're gonna know exactly what party we were talking about.
That's all I'm saying. Your stories are great, but of course you got to talk about how you are now. But stories are good.
Stories
Good
are good,
stories.
but I also like my marriage and my employer. So
Boo. I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Taylor and I had that conversation today because I'm doing a lot of social media work. Actually have somebody talking to me about wanting to do a TV show. I'm not a TV guy. I don't have I have the face for radio is what we used to call it.
correct.
Nice.
So yeah, I have the face for podcasts without video because a lot of them didn't have video for the longest time. But we were talking about that because all my social media, I was like, do I want them all linked together where, my clients can go see my old goats and stuff like that?
Definitely not. You don't want them knowing you're talking to this guy. No. You reputation out the window.
You know what? Here's what it came to is, I ain't gonna believe this.
Bring it.
Opportunity. It's opportunity for them to get to know me more on a personal level. I'm not afraid of all that. Whatever. I don't do anything really that wrong. So we said a few cuss words here and there.
That wrong.
So Tommy has a proclivity for a certain type of woman. I mean, I don't know. That's
The shorts will tell them everything they need to know.
So that's my point.
Well, see, this I think is reality, right? Where we're at right now. This is real,
Yeah.
And if there's listeners out there that are like don't like this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
they're probably the people that won't buy houses from you anyways.
There you go.
We'll think about that when he's bankrupt.
Yeah. Well, and then
The money doesn't come from them.
The other part is if I'm all worried about it, guess what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about the outcome.
Dun dun dun.
So just do the right thing right here, right now while we're doing it. Talk about the right stuff.
That's right.
Boom.
There we go. Everything's right in alignment. I'm good to go. I don't care if they cross, overlap, whatever. Whatever social media does, I don't know what it does.
You know what the opposite of worry is?
Love?
Faith.
Yeah.
You got true faith. There's nothing to be worried about, brother. It's all good.
Yep.
It's already done.
Yep.
Ain't
Faith
nothing worried.
comes from love.
You
Yep.
don't need to worry about outcomes. And love is an action. Means to give of yourself to another. That's 100% it. Above all things, love a brother. That's it.
That's it. That's
I
it.
like that. Good
That's it.
spot to end it on. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
He's got to go think about things.
I got a lot to think about after this.
Let me tell you what. I'll let you off with this one. I had another question, but we don't have time to get into it. I don't think. But here, I'll let you off.
We got plenty of episodes coming
Write
soon.
it down.
Thinking about something is the same thing as not doing it.
Absolutely. That's
That's what
what
we're
I was-
talking about.
So there you go.
Procrastination. He's in a different conversation. He's fucking zoning out. He thinks we're boring.
Yeah, he was
Who?
so worried about what
You.
he was going to say that he forgot what we were saying.
You already said that.
We had a whole conversation
didn't
about
say
that,
that.
Barry. Yes, we did.
You
Think it means you ain't doing shit.
literally said that.
Well, you keep saying you're thinking you're gonna go thinking.
Yeah, he's
He's over here
thinking.
trying to end the episode on a profound thought. Bitch, we already said that.
Well, let me ask you my question.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. No, wait. Profound. You were profound. I'm sorry.
Think about it.
You know, that is a good thing that some podcasters do. They leave the audience with a question.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Think about this for next time. Don't
right.
answer it this time.
All right.
All right, cool.
So, in terms of opportunity or whatever you want, what about the lies that we love? Like the character defects we love, the lies we love. Is there some opportunity in there?
You leave
Just
those
question.
big booties alone. You
Just a
leave the big
question.
booties alone,
Hey,
Richard.
I'm just asking a question. Like I said,
Is
it's
that
not
for me
always,
or is that for him?
Lust.
I just threw it out there.
Because I got
I
some
just-
good lies that I love.
That's what
Me
I'm
too,
saying.
man.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So
he
y'all-
said character defects. That's where I'm like, I'm
Same,
good.
brother. It's all the same.
And all this I've been listening to recently, they're like, we don't want to get rid of all our character defects. And
That's
I'm
right.
like, big booties, big booties, big booties.
Yes.
That's
there's
not a
this
character
little-
defect, brother. You're loving.
Lust?
You're loving the universe creation.
I thought lust is technically not what's up.
Lust
there's
is
a
the
little-
twisted version of loving.
So I love big booties.
You love it because it's the creation of your higher power.
Right.
Created it. You should love that thing.
That is sculpted. God was
Yes.
just chiseling. Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, Chris, it
My
ain't up
man.
to you.
Oh, how sculpted they are.
No, all he's got to do is go flash one of these big booties to Chris. Oh, I got Chris.
It ain't up to me, no.
It ain't up to you.
There you
Oh,
go.
fuck.
That's
Good
it.
shit.
All right, dudes. Well, y'all think about that question. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Who knows?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good, brothers.
See y'all
right.
next week.
All right.
If they want me back.
There you go. Y'all get out and get in the sun.
All right. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye.